We are going to create a reminder to go to a job owner if a candidate that we've submitted to a client has been sent out and we haven't got feedback in a timely manner. So we're going to create this as a submission-based campaign. So we'll do, let's see, follow up on Sendout taking too long. There we go. Just capitalize these. We're going to build it as a standard automation. It's going to be the candidate side of things. So the first thing we're going to do is build our list. We want it to be always updated, so we dynamically grab the appropriate people. Okay, so here the trigger is going to be submission status. So when you do a client send out, you might call this something different in your business, but whenever you physically submit that CV or resume to the client, call it client send out, client submission, something along those lines, and the submission status gets updated accordingly. Again, we can do this kind of in the future, so we'll do an after criteria, and that's going to be our list trigger. So that's our list, that's our people coming into the automation. The first thing we're going to do is add a wait step. The reason for that is if we didn't have a wait step, as soon as somebody would be sent out, they would come into the automation into one of the communications. So again, this is something that we want to do if we don't have feedback, if someone remains in that status for a period of time. So let's just say 3 days. So we send out a resume. If after 3 days that client, that submission hasn't been updated, then they would pass through this step, and then they could hit a notification step. So this is something that we could build to send out for each submission that's flowing through. You could also do the roll-up feature, which would be one notification for all of the submissions that are going through that in the previous day or week. So you can kind of go there. This you could route to the submission owner, to the job owner, whatever is the best mechanism for your organization. And again, kind of content-wise, you could kind of customize this. That kind of thing. So this could be an email reminder to them to follow up with the client contact. You could even merge in the client contact information. So I'll just show you some of the kind of the merge tokens you can use here. So you have obviously all the candidate type information that you could throw in. This is the associated sales contact is the one that's in relation to the submission and the job. So you could put their information in so they know. You could put submission specific information so you know what job title, what position this is for. So you can put all those things into the body of the message to make sure that it's exactly what you want it to be. Another thing you can do here as well is you could also send an email or a text message to the candidate, just letting them know, I just wanted to give you an update. There's been no update, essentially. We're going to follow up today. So that way they're not left wondering what's going on. You kind of could automate some of that reach out, or you could add a task if you want your recruiters to have that touch point be kind of a manual one. So that's kind of your prerogative there. We'll just put an email step there as a little reminder of some of the things you can do kind of simultaneously. And then, you could even do things or, wait a little bit longer, update a submission status to something else, if you haven't heard back in the time frame. So that would be that. The nice part about the submission base is that each submission that matches this will flow through. So even if a candidate falls into this scenario later on in their life cycle, it'll be for a unique submission. So that submission will automatically flow through. And then the one thing I would recommend on this, if you're sending an email, or a text message, you'd want to utilize the send window. And I would recommend leaving Monday off. The reason for that is just a scenario that could happen if somebody was submitted on a Friday. Our days and hours, all of the wait steps are in periods of hours. It's not business days. So if someone was submitted on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you could get the weekend or non-business days counting as your days. So I would just leave Monday off so that way you can ensure that kind of the follow-up is happening, giving the client enough time to actually respond. And of course, last thing being said here, this would rely upon strong data quality, because if someone stays in that client send out status, even when you've gotten feedback, this could potentially trigger. So you'd want to make sure it's integral part of your process to update that submission status as soon as you find out information.